This is a terrarium. More strikingly, you'll probably see, it's a dead terrarium. You're probably wondering how I've ended up with a dead terrarium in my house. Well, a short story. Where my partner was living, one of her housemates had a terrarium, left it on top of the fridge, and, well, never cared for it, and hence why it's ended up like this. Me being me, liking anything to do with nature, I decided to set myself a little project. I was going to restore this terrarium. As you can see, it's virtually dead. There's just decaying foliage. The soil is somewhat good, but I'm starting to think maybe we should start from scratch. As you can see, it is pretty much lifeless in here. So please enjoy watching me restore a terrarium. Should be quite fun for myself. Maybe not for you if you're viewing, but who knows. So, I started by opening the terrarium up and basically getting rid of all the dead foliage. Putting it in my little pot there, and well, it was pretty easy. Some of the stuff clung on, but that's going to happen naturally. There's quite a few stubborn roots in there, but I ended up taking it out in the end. As you can see, the soil is pretty salvageable, but it's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to dispose of it, put it in the compost, and there we go, we're recycling to Mother Earth. The next stage is, we're going to wash the terrarium jar. I simply used an old toothbrush, just scrubbing around the sections that needed actually cleaning, like the clung on soil, and some of the foliage that was stuck. Pretty simple. I used a little bit of lukewarm water and a bit of soap. I then decided to swill the rest off, giving it a bit of a shake to get rid of that stubborn dirt that's still on there. As I said before, I used some lukewarm water with some dish soap. And here's me having fun, giving it a good little scrub. Don't forget to shake the jar and swirl it round. Now the terrarium jar is nice and clean, the next stage is to actually start building the terrarium itself. I grabbed some pebbles from an old bag of gravel that we had using one of our summer projects when we were building the shed. I'm going to scoop a handful of pebbles and put them in the bottom. I'm going to layer it up so it will help with drainage. I left a circle in the middle of the pebbles. This is for the activated charcoal. This is essential for a closed ecosystem, which is what we're going to have. It filters the water and removes impurities and prevents mould. It looks like there wasn't any in the original terrarium, hence why there was mould. Before adding the activated charcoal, I did however add some fine terrarium grit. This is also going to help with the drainage. I'm going to put it in the middle and then I'm going to sprinkle the rest over the top of the pebbles. Here is my activated charcoal. Don't worry, I know it says activated carbon, but they're the same thing. To get the activated charcoal into the terrarium, I simply got a teaspoon and sprinkled 2.5 teaspoons in. Sprinkle it mainly in the middle and the remainder just around the sides. I then began adding some terrarium potting soil, gently sprinkling it in and pushing down around the sides just to make it more compact. We don't want to add too much at the moment because we need to put our plants in. And here we have our lovely plants, which we're going to add to the terrarium. I'm not quite sure what they were, but I saw them in the terrarium section of the garden centre and thought, these look great, so I decided to add them in. It's a little fiddly because my hand is a bit too big for the jar. Also, well, I'm trying not to damage the plants as well. I'm just trying to fit them in at the moment, and what I'll do once I've done that and I'm happy with the placement, I'll start filling the soil around the gaps. Pretty easy. There we go, I start feeding the terrarium with the soil just to plug up the gaps, so the roots can actually finally expand. I then started adding white pebbles just for decoration. It actually is starting to make the terrarium come alive. And there you have it. It actually looks much better than the older terrarium. Nothing left to do but put the lid on, and there we go finally. Whilst it's not the original terrarium, it looks actually much better than it did. Nice and restored. I'm pretty happy with this. It's not what I usually do on my channel, but I'm hoping to do small little projects like this. If you did find this great, please give me a like and subscribe. Also, please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And maybe I'll do more of these projects about terrariums and maybe even something to do with the garden. As always, thank you for watching Channel Johnovation.